Hey there, I'm pretty sure that your study is doing well and you people are rocking with your study. And we have to continue with the next information that I have to share with you. Let me share my screen first and then there will be the turn of information. Okay. So, first, we have to understand what we are going to cover and learn in this video. So, as you see it on the screen, because in this chapter, we are all learning about the transportation, how that happen in animals and how that happen in plants. In animals, transportation happen by heart, and also transportation of the blood happen in the kidneys where blood is filtered. As I told you, that filtration thing and the purification thing of the blood happen in two places in our body. One is in the lungs where the exchange of gases happen, oxygen and CO2, and the second one is in the kidney. In the kidney, all the waste of the blood is removed. You know what? In our body, mainly nitrogenous waste is produced. Nitrogenous waste means a waste which has nitrogenous compound in it. This is produced. So this waste, this is filtered inside the kidney in our body, and that is how it filters. What are the part of the excretory system that we will be learning. We'll also be having a little information about excretion in animals. Next, we will be talking about how transportation happen in plants and what is transpiration. How come these things are important and how come these things are working? Okay, not important as in for you, but that's obviously important for you, but how important for the plants also. First thing that we have to understand is excretion. Guys, excretion means removal of the waste product. As I was saying, that there is mainly nitrogenous waste that is produced. I would like to add one more point. Not always nitrogenous things are waste product that is being released. If I'm sweating, if I have, all the tears in my eyes, the sweat is there, these all are type of secretions. If I am, secretion means excretion here. If I am breathing, I am removing carbon dioxide from my nose. That is also a type of excretion where I am removing waste product out of the body. So excretion is the removal of waste product that include, of course, the nitrogenous waste. And also if the carbon dioxide from the lungs that is released, that is also a type of excretion. If from my body and your body sweat is being released, all the secretion thing always used to happen from certain glands. Before the sweat, there is a sweat gland. So from the sweat gland on the skin, sweat is released. That is also excretion. Now, tears, skin, carbon dioxide. Is something I'm forgetting? Yeah, actually, now in a body, oil glands are also there. That is also kind of removing the waste product. I will tell you how that happen in plant also, excretion. And first thing, guys, understand this thing up. This nitrogenous waste, this is mainly formed inside liver of our body. Inside the liver, all the reaction happen, all the detoxification story, I will say. Every detoxification always happen in the liver. Whenever there is a viral infection in the body, liver is first infected. Comes to the digestive system. But anyways, into the liver, nitrogenous waste is being released. So what happened? The blood, it will be carrying up the waste and it will go toward the kidney, and into the kidney this blood is going to be filtered, and all the waste product that comes into the urine we excrete out. But as I was telling, there is a nitrogenous waste. There is mainly three types of nitrogenous waste that is released in all living creature. This includes ammonia, urea, and uric acid. They all are, I will say, some biomolecules, some compound which are having nitrogen in it. So basically, they are made up of from the proteins and nucleic acid. We do have a lot of proteins in our body. We do have a lot of nucleic acids. Nucleic acid is an acidic compound which is present inside the cells. We do have a number of cells in our body, billions of cells. In all of the cell, this nucleic acid is present, which is a chemical which actually is very responsible. It's very, this is the one. You must have heard about DNA. DNA is a type of nucleic acid. It is acidic compound. DNA is responsible for passing on information. So when these all are chemicals, these all have a chemical structure. They all react and produce a waste, which is nitrogenous waste. This waste is secreted in different form in different animals. If I talk about aquatic animal, including many fishes, they release ammonia. And they are known as a monotelic organism. If I say mammals, amphibians, shark, some bony fishes, they release urea. That is known as ureotelic. We are also ureotelic. We are mammals. They release you. These all are made up of nitrogen. The structure is different. Now, birds, insect, reptile, and snail, they release uric acid. That is known as uricotelic. That they are uricotelic. Now, if you see the excreta of bird is not liquid, it's semi-solid. So uric acid is released in the form of semi-solid thing. Mammals and we are the one who are ureotelic. We are urinating. That is in the liquid thing, but a little concentrated. And ammonia is in the water. It is dissolved in the water, in the gaseous form or semi-liquid, not semi-liquid, in the liquid form, I will say, but this is directly released into the water. Very harmful if it is in the air, but in the water, that's not. So this is how different organisms, they are releasing the waste. Is that clear? Good. Now, guys, in our body, in human, we do have a separate system. We call it as the excretory system that is helping us to excrete. If you look at the diagram, this is the one. With this kidney, if I talk about this, is like a pair of kidney which is present into the lower abdominal region. It appears to be like kidney 1, it appears to be like a bean-shaped organ and brownish in color. Purplish, brownish, dark color kind of. Now, this kidney is the one which are the filtering units. I will tell you a little about the structure also. But understand this thing. I told you artery, it consists of all the oxygenated blood. Right? And I told you vein, all veins except one, we are not talking about that right now, they have deoxygenated blood. Right? Now, artery have oxygenated blood plus one thing that you have to remember. It consists of nitrogenous waste. This is oxygenated blood, but nitrogenous waste is present in the artery. Vein is deoxygenated blood, but there is no nitrogenous waste in it. Are you getting my point? Now, second thing, wherever, that's the third thing, wherever you listen the word renal, that means they are talking about the kidney. So if they are writing here renal vein, renal artery, that means artery which is coming in the kidney and going out of the kidney. One thing, the blue line is showing arrow going outward and the red is coming here. Means this is the renal artery. Means the renal artery which is having the oxygenated blood, this is coming from the heart toward the kidney and it is having nitrogenous waste. It will come filtered inside the kidney, move back through the renal vein and go toward heart again. Are you getting my point? It comes from the heart and go back to the heart. From the heart it will go into the lungs for oxygen and CO2 transport. Understand this thing up. Now, if you're writing about the structure, you will say renal artery is having oxygenated blood, but it has nitrogenous waste in it. Are you getting my point? Very nice. So the next thing into the excretory system is this renal artery, this kidney, this will be releasing all the urine, which is like the filtrate, which is like the waste after blood is filtered into the ureter. And after ureter, it will take entry into the bladder. Urinary bladder. This urinary bladder, it can store nearby 300 to 400 ml of the urine, and it is also the maximum capacity, I will say. If it is even half of the one, like 150 ml is there, 100 ml, we starts to get sensation because this ureter, this bladder, it sends information to our brain that this person is being filled, you should urinate. That's the intelligence. You know what? Urinary bladder, it appears to be like the muscular organ. And the muscles of the bladder is known as detrusor muscles. The detrusor muscles are highly elastic. They can increase the surface area. And then when it is full, we just excrete it out. We excrete it with the help of urethra. Interesting point. You know what? In pregnant women, they tend to urinate more because their womb, that we call it as the uterus, is present nearby the bladder. Uterus is increasing in the size, so they keep on pushing on the bladder. So the women who is pregnant cannot store 300 ml of the urine. They're like little one, and they keep on getting to have sensation that it is filled, because it's actually filled. It doesn't have the space to store it more. Okay. So that's the point, and that's all about the excretory system. But I have a lot of information to tell you. Okay. This is a little structure of the kidney. Do not worry, you don't have to be scared looking at the diagram. But one thing, guys, first of all, in bio, we used two terminology. One is known as cortex and one is known as medulla. Understand this thing up. Cortex word is used for the outer region. This is a general word. Medulla is used for the inner region. Like suppose this is a circle. I will say the outer part is cortex and the central part is medulla. In the kidney also we call it as the same. Suppose this is kidney. This outer part, this is cortex, and the inner part, this is known as medulla. Now, we have to understand how filtration happen in the kidney. Filtration happen in the kidney with the help of a units, which are known as filtering units. Nephron is the filtering unit. Nephron is the one where blood actually is coming, and there it is being filtered up. So here, this is known as the filtering units and the structural unit of the kidney. So if you see, this is blood with waste and blood without waste. With waste is the one which is renal artery, and without waste is the one which is renal vein. So renal artery is coming, and this will make branches, blood vessels, make capillaries. It will make arteries, arterioles, make more and more branches, and ultimately form the capillary. And these capillaries are, like you see blood, these capillaries are in contact with the nephron, and their filtration happen, that into this blood will be moving, and they will literally go inside the nephron, and there it is filtered out. Not filtration, we call it as the ultra filtration. Blood is ultra filtered. And after filtration, the urine into the nephron, we call it as the filtrate. In science also, we call it as the filtrate, the leftover after the filtration. So the filtrate will be moving in the yellow part. This yellow part is the tubes of the nephron. So into the tubes of the nephron, it will come, and it will be moving up through this duct. We call it as the collecting duct, which is collecting all the urine. Into the nephron, blood is filtered, moving up into the collecting duct. And you see from the collecting duct, urine is coming in the center. And from the central part, now the central part where urine is being collected from all of the nephrons. There are millions of nephrons present in the kidney. From the millions of nephrons, so many collecting ducts are coming. They meet up at a central point. We call it as the renal pelvis. Renal means kidney, pelvis is the central part, and then it moves toward the ureter. That's how it happens. Is that clear now? So cortex and medulla, why I told you, because half of the nephron is in cortex, half is in the medulla. The cortex outer and inner, but it is present throughout. There are millions of nephrons. They are the structural unit which is directly in contact with the blood vessels, capillaries, and from the capillary blood is coming, and it is being filtered inside the nephron. And the collecting duct will be taking up to the urine in the renal pelvis, which is like a collecting place, and then it will be moving it further into the ureter, and then we just urinate it out. Now, guys, if I talk about the urine, it is like a pale yellow in color. I told you about RBCs, that, RBCs broken up in the spleen, and that's why we have a pale yellow urine. Yeah, that's correct. In a day, we can produce 1.5 to 2 liter of urine. If we take more of the urine, our kidney will be working perfectly. If we do not take much, it will be a pressure on the kidney to save water in our body. So that should not happen. We should take water in good amount, not in excess, not in less, but in optimum amount. In proper, that should be taken. Next thing. Sometime there are differences, guys. You should know that. Think up, because sometimes there's a difference in the quality of the urine. You should also keep it under a check. If there's any kind of infection, your urine color might be different. If you see urine appears to be little white in color or a little thicker, not like a watery, but a little thicker, so that might be certain infection in it. That's why the genitalia part should also be kept clean. And let me think more about the urine. Yeah, the process of urine release is known as urination. So I suppose now excretory system is completely, I mean, clear to you. You have understand things in a clear way. Okay. So let's move forward and let's talk about how transportation happen in the plants. In the plant also, minerals are needed. You know what? Plants need mineral for the growth. They can grow better if they have minerals. They should have. How they will have minerals? Transportation will happen. Minerals will be moving with the water. They will mixed in the water. That's why plant needs water, because when water moves in the plant, minerals also move up. If you see, this is the stem, and inside it the transporting units are there, and water is moving, and with the water, food made by the leaf, that's another thing. With the water and mineral from the soil, it is coming to each part of the plant. That's why we give manure and fertilizer to the plant, because they need the nutrient, and we give it that water should be present too. Okay. In the plant, water is needed. But they have mentioned that food made by the leaf, we know photosynthesis happen. We have learned that since our childhood. Now, from the food which is formed in the leaf, this is moving in all part of the plant. That is needed. So plant have tissues to transport water, nutrient, and mineral. They have mainly two tissue. We call it as the vascular tissue. Vascular means the conducting one. So there are mainly two type of vascular tissue. One is xylem and one is phloem. Xylem is helping in water, and obviously minerals will be mixed in the water. They will move up from the roots to other part of the plant. So that's moving up. While phloem transport sucrose and amino acid between the leaves and other part of the plant. Actually, sucrose, this is, you may say, the product of photosynthesis. Into the leaves, photosynthesis happen, and the food is needed in all part of the plant, and then it will be moving to all of the part of the plant. And yeah, okay. So the next thing is that xylem and phloem, guys. Xylem and phloem, they are kind of pipeline structure. Okay, so like suppose this is a stem, and into that a little pipe kind of thing is moving inside the plant. We call it as the xylem and the phloem. Into the xylem, water and minerals are moving. Into the phloem, other things are moving. Food and obviously minerals mixed with the food. Into the xylem, water and minerals are moving. If you look at the diagram, this is a xylem. That it is in the stem, it is present like a pipe. One way only, outer cell are not living, no living. Actually, now, if I talk about the component, see, this is xylem, a pipeline kind of thing. If I talk about the components of xylem, xylem is a tissue, a group of cells. It consists of mainly 4 components. Xylem, vessels, xylem tracheids, xylem fiber, and xylem parenchyma. These are the 4 components of the xylem. Mainly water is moving in the vessel and trachea. The diagram that you see, this is actually you don't have to see metaxylem, protoxylem. This is actually a trachea and vessel. Vessel is like with a more diameter and trachea is like with the less diameter. But this is the one through which water is moving. And fiber is kind of fiber thing. You must have seen many fibrous product. There is a hand fan fiber. There's a many product in hand, jute bags, wooden, chair and all. They are not actually properly wooden. They are the fibers. Nothing but the xylem and phloem fiber. So xylem has that fiber, and parenchyma are the special cells present in the xylem, and this parenchyma is doing the storage work. So xylem outer cells are not living here because they are having the fibers, and inside this is moving. But then on outside here, not outside, nearby it, parenchyma cells are also present, which is doing the storage work. So into the stem, the xylem is present like this, with the least diameter through which water is moving. Now, talking about the phloem. Are you clear with the xylem? One thing that you have to remember, very important thing. Let me change the pen color. I tell you that. Xylem is mainly a dead tissue. That's what you have to remember. Xylem vessel, tracheids, and fiber. They are mainly the dead tissue. Like a water pipe system in home. There's a water pipe, it's like that. And parenchyma is the living one, only living cell. Parenchyma is a type of tissue, which is the living in the plant. So xylem is that thing, and that's it. Now I will give you information about the phloem. Phloem is helping in the transport of food. What do you mean by the term food? Food means product of photosynthesis. Food means product of photosynthesis. The storage form. Normally it is sucrose, but later on this is converted into starch. They both are type of sugars. Sugar means carbohydrate. Is that clear? Now, phloem is this one. This is also a pipeline system, but then it has a proper way of moving. It has little filters in it. So it has the sieve plate, which actually have filters, because what food is moving, it has to move in a proper way. So that's why it has a two-way movement, because food is being formed in the leaf. So it's needed everywhere in the plant for the energy. That's the reason. Cells are living but need support. Actually, cells are living. I tell you, phloem has living cell. The components of phloem include sieve cells, sieve tubes actually, and then companion cells. And they also have the parenchyma. But this parenchyma is present in the phloem. So we call it as the phloem parenchyma. They also have the fiber. We call it as the phloem fiber. Phloem fiber are of good quality. The ropes, these are made up of phloem. They are better quality. Xylem phloems are used less in market. The jute and the every product I was talking about, they're actually made from the phloem fiber. So only fiber are the dead part of the phloem. Rest of all of them are living. They are living and helping in the transport. So into the leaf, food is being formed, and they will be moving inside a little pipe-like structure. We call it as the phloem, and it has different components in it. So this is like a sieve tube, sieve cell, and into that fiber, this what do we say, filters are present. We call it as sieve plate, a plate with a filter, and then sieve tube, sieve tube, sieve tube, and then nearby that companion cell. Companion cells are additionally providing it a support this way. So fibers and parenchyma again doing the storage work of the food. In earlier case, it was storing the water and minerals. In this case, it is storing the food. So this is all about the phloem. So I suppose now that's clear to you. So they have actually added up a cross section of the stem, and they have told that, see, this is a phloem. If they look it under the microscope and then they see, this will be the diagram that they will be getting. So this is about the xylem and phloem, and this is how transportation happen in the plant. So if you see now, this is a simple diagram to understand it. I suppose that's clear. Now we have to talk about the next thing, which is transpiration. Transpiration is the process of water movement through a plant. It's evaporation from the aerial part, from the stem, from the leaf, because an aerial into the leaf, a structure which is known as a stomata. This structure is present. If you see the diagram, the small opening, they are known as a stomata, like this. Stomata is not a cell. Stomata is the opening. The cells which is making the opening is known as guard cell. This guard cell is full of water. They're kind of full of water, lacking water, full of water, and that's how they open, close, open, close. Are you getting my point? Stomata are really very important part of the plant, and stomata used to be present mainly on the lower surface of the leaf. Reason being, if they are present on the upper surface of the leaf, then the plant may die, because then direct transpiration. If it is on the lower side, they will be maintaining themselves up. So yeah, through the stomata, number of things happen. Extra water from the plant that is coming out. Also, if gases has to move in and out, oxygen and carbon dioxide, they will only move through the stomata. Transpiration doesn't always happen from the stomata. I'll tell you that. Water is necessary for the plant, but only a small amount of water is taken up by the roots. It's used for growth and metabolism. Remaining 97 to 99.5% is lost by transpiration and guttation. Guttation, I tell you, transpiration. Guys, now you might be thinking, if 99.5% of the water is being lost, then what is the need of transpiration? Actually, answer is that with the water, minerals are also absorbed. So that more and more minerals can be taken up, transpiration happens. Because when water is moving out of the leaf, it will create a pressure on the plant, which is known as transpiration pull. This transpiration pull will pull more water from the roots. And then with the roots, minerals are also being absorbed. That's how it happens. That's why transpiration is important. Okay, the next thing. What is guttation? You guys must have seen, actually, guttation, I must have explained to you here only. Actually, transpiration is also a type of excretion in the plant because it is excreting out the extra waste. Guttation is also a way of excreting the waste. You must have seen morning dews in the plant. Morning dews are really very beautiful, but not all the time these are morning dews. Many a time morning dews are actually a way of excretion. They remove the not the nitrogenous waste, but the waste from the plant with the water that is made. That is guttation. Not all the morning dews are guttation. Some of them. There are little pores present on the leaf through which that is not stomata, another pore, through which all the waste is being released. It appears to be like a morning dew, so beautiful, but that's excretion. Now, guys, let me tell you types of transpiration. If the transpiration happened through the stomata, we call it as the stomatal transpiration. If the transpiration happened from the bark of the tree, we call it as the bark transpiration. If the transpiration happened from the cuticle of the leaf, we call it as the cuticular transpiration. What is cuticle? On the leaf, you must have seen the thin membrane kind of, which you can peel off. Like there is a leaf, there's a thin membrane present on it. You can just peel it off. That's cuticle. If transpiration happened from that, we call it as the cuticular transpiration. I will say membranous part of the leaf. Next one. Next one is lenticular transpiration. Lenticular transpiration means if transpiration happened from the lenticel of the leaf, lenticel of the plant. Lenticel actually used to be present on the stem. On the stem, guys, you must have seen little pores like structure. Let me show you. Hold on for a second, as I forgot to add the picture, but that's not an issue because we have a lot of time. Aren't we having lenticels? Okay, so I have added up the diagram. You must be able to see it. Not here, but on the next slide, this one. These are the lenticels present on the stem, the wooden stem. They are the little pores. So if excretion happened, that's lenticels. If transpiration happened through it, that is known as lenticular transpiration. So transpiration happened in different part of the plant, and they are really very important. Transpiration is the type of excretion in the plant. Now, guys, one thing that you have to remember. If a question come in your paper that what is the importance of transpiration, what will you say? How come transpiration is important? How come that is good? First, it helps in maintaining temperature of the plant because water is moving, and with the water, maintenance of temperature happens. Temperature of the plant. Next, you will say it helps in maintaining water balance. In the plant, water is there or not, so water balance is well maintained. Next, it help in doing transportation. Yeah, transportation of minerals, because with the water, minerals also move. So if now that question come, I suppose you can clearly write it. That's why transpiration is important. And I suppose in today's session, everything is clear to you. You know a lot about excretion in plant, transportation, transpiration, how that happens, excretion in human being, what are the units, what are the structure, type of excretion in animals, in different animals, how that happen, what are the waste product that is released. And now it is time to have some questions. Let's practice. They are pipeline consist of group of specialized cell. I know that you can see the answer phloem tissue, but read the question. They transport substances from a two-way traffic. Two-way traffic. Xylem is one-way traffic. Remember that. Which of the following term qualify for the feature? Now, aquatic animal like fish excrete their waste in the gaseous form as in ammonia, because ammonia is a gas that is released, poisonous, but in the water, it directly converts into another form by reacting with the water. What is the function of WBC? Fight against germs. Collective question. Which one of the following contains hemoglobin? RBC. I'm just practicing, extra question also. Now let me put certain questions for you. Renal vein, renal artery. Yeah, structural unit of what is structural unit of kidney? Sorry, structural unit of kidney. Nephron. Right? Okay. Next. Write examples of ureotelic organisms. Us, mammals. Okay. Next question. So not exams, example. I'm so lazy now in writing, not just. Okay, so let me think about other question. Renal artery, renal vein. Impure, yeah, which one of the following is having nitrogenous waste? Renal artery or renal vein? Renal artery. Okay. Why one of the kidneys present little lower in position? So as to accommodate liver. You know that? Now you know it. Transportation xylem. Yeah, what are the components of xylem and what are the components of phloem? How come transpiration is important? These questions can come indirectly or directly. I suppose we have practiced enough. I suppose everything is clear to you. I'm going to stop the screen share and be on the camera right now, guys. So now if you have any doubt, you know what you have to do. There's a discussion board in your account, or you can come on the website, ask expert, just put your question up there. And also you can ask the teacher in the class itself. Okay. So I am going to meet you in the last part of the video and I'll see you up there. So bye-bye. Take care.